Top news of the hour. News number one. Is the world facing a global food crisis? The alarming new reality. The world is facing an alarming increase in food shortages and price hikes, driven by a combination of climate change, geopolitical tensions, and export curves. Recent events such as the Indian rice export ban and Russia's withdrawal from the Black Sea grain deal have added to concerns, raising questions about the sustainability of food security in the long term. However, experts propose potential solutions to mitigate future crises, urging for the promotion of free trade and the adoption of climate-resilient crop varieties. This article aims to analyze the current situation, draw conclusions, and prompt viewers to share their opinions on the matter. The recent ban on non-basmati white rice exports by India, the largest rice exporter globally, has sent shockwaves across the global markets. India justified its decision as a response to high international prices, geopolitical tensions, and extreme climatic conditions in other rice-producing countries. Similarly, other major agricultural exporters such as Argentina, Indonesia, Brazil, and Canada have been impacted by weather-related challenges, prompting export restrictions and leading to price spikes. With export restrictions on essential food commodities becoming more prevalent, the stability of global food security is at risk. Trade-restricting policies destabilize markets and cause price rises, disproportionately affecting poorer countries heavily reliant on imported rice. The situation worsened due to the war between Russia and Ukraine, resulting in record-high food prices. As a consequence, hunger rates have increased globally, threatening the progress made towards achieving sustainable development goals. Extreme weather events, including floods in Pakistan, droughts in Argentina and Spain, and wildfires in Canada and Europe, are further exacerbating the worldwide food crisis. Disruptive climate patterns, characterized by excessive heat, prolonged droughts, and excessive rainfall, have devastating effects on crop yields. Rising temperatures are projected to further diminish the productivity of staple crops essential for global food supply. Experts argue that addressing export controls and adopting resilient crop varieties are key to mitigating food crises. A coordinated global strategy is needed to reassure both food importing and food exporting countries that supplies will be maintained. By enhancing agricultural research and investing in technology, countries can develop better and more climate-resilient seeds. The revival of traditional climate-smart crops, such as millets, and the development of drought-tolerant varieties offer promising long-term solutions. The world is at a critical juncture where the intersection of climate change, export curves, and geopolitical conflicts threatens to perpetuate the food crisis. Urgent action must be taken to ensure global food security and prevent further exacerbation of hunger and malnutrition. By embracing free trade, investing in research, and promoting climate-resilient crops, it is possible to avert a full-blown global food crisis. What are your thoughts on this topic? Please share your opinions in the comments below. News number two. Ukraine's desperate call to Bulgaria for Black Sea security. Will they answer? The recent conversation between Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Bulgarian Prime Minister Nikolai Denkov highlights the growing concern over Russia's aggressive behavior in the Black Sea. This raises questions about the need for coherent efforts by NATO members who share borders with this strategic body of water. The acknowledgement by Bulgarian Defense Minister Tovir Tagarev of the possibility of a naval conflict in the region further emphasizes the urgency of addressing this issue. It is commendable that Bulgaria has stepped up to provide military assistance to Ukraine, including the provision of 100 armored personnel carriers. This support demonstrates solidarity among NATO members and a willingness to collaborate in the face of a common security threat. However, it is essential for more NATO countries to actively participate in enhancing Black Sea security, as Russia's actions in the region have significant implications for regional stability. Tagarev's comments about the potential for a war between NATO and Russia cannot be dismissed lightly. The Kremlin's provocative actions, such as impeding free shipping and imposing its will in the Black Sea, only serve to escalate tensions and increase the risk of incidents. Russia's recent firing of a warning shot to stop a cargo ship further exemplifies its aggressive tactics. These actions not only threaten Ukraine, but also have wider implications for the freedom of navigation in the region. The coordination of efforts between coastal allies Romania, Turkey, and Bulgaria is a positive step towards strengthening surveillance and situational awareness in the Black Sea. However, it is imperative for NATO as a whole to take a unified stance against Russia's aggressions. The Black Sea states, including Ukraine, Bulgaria, Turkey, and Romania, must continue to work together to address the common challenge of Russian provocations and ensure the safety of maritime activities in the region. It is worth noting the recent change in Bulgaria's government, which has shifted its policy towards Ukraine and openly supports Kyiv against the Russian invasion. This change reflects a pro-European and anti-Russian sentiment within the country's leadership. However, it remains to be seen how the new government's stance will translate into concrete actions in addressing the security concerns in the Black Sea. In conclusion, the rising tensions in the Black Sea demand a coordinated effort from NATO members and regional allies to counteract Russia's aggressive behavior. Bulgaria's support to Ukraine is commendable, but more countries need to actively participate to ensure the security and stability of this strategic sea. It is crucial for viewers to share their opinions on this topic and contribute to the ongoing discussion. What are your thoughts on Russia's actions in the Black Sea and the measures that should be taken to address this issue? Please feel free to share your opinions in the comments section below. News number 3. 5 EU nations make shocking demand. Extend grain embargo or else. The main idea of this text is that 5 EU countries are seeking an extension of the grain embargo on Ukraine and are willing to negotiate with the EU on this matter. Poland, Bulgaria, Romania, Slovakia, and Hungary are in favor of extending the ban and may even introduce their own restrictions if necessary. From an analytical perspective, it is evident that these countries have concerns about the import of Ukrainian grain and are taking measures to protect their own agricultural sectors. They argue for the prohibition of not only grain, but also other products like raspberries. This suggests that they view Ukrainian agricultural exports as a threat to their domestic markets. On the other hand, the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry is urging the EU leadership and member countries to find a balanced solution based on EU legislation and the association agreement. This indicates that Ukraine wants a fair and open dialogue to address these concerns without jeopardizing the relationship between Ukraine and the EU. They also point out that some EU countries have received increased agricultural sector financing from the European budget, which implies that there should be cooperation and understanding between EU member states. In light of these differing opinions, it is crucial to consider the implications of extending the grain embargo. While the 5 EU countries are primarily concerned about protecting their agricultural sectors, such a move could have adverse effects on Ukraine's economy. Ukraine heavily relies on agricultural exports, including grain, as a significant source of revenue. Therefore, any extended ban on grain imports could lead to economic setbacks for Ukraine. Additionally, the involvement of Russia in this matter adds another layer of complexity. Vice President of the European Commission, Valdis Dombrovskis, has called on Russia to restore the grain agreement. This suggests that Russia might have a stake in this issue, and its involvement could potentially impact the decision-making process regarding the extension of the grain embargo. To conclude, the demand of 5 EU countries to extend the grain embargo on Ukraine highlights the concerns these nations have about the impact of Ukrainian agricultural imports on their domestic markets. However, it is essential to find a balanced solution that takes into account the economic consequences for Ukraine and the need for cooperation among EU member countries. It would be interesting to hear the viewers' thoughts on this topic. Do you agree with the extension of the grain embargo? Should the EU consider the economic implications for Ukraine? Please share your opinions in the comments below.